All right, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're here to react to this horrible Knicks. I don't want to say a defeat, but it was a loss because a defeat would mean we don't learn anything. I think that we learned a couple things about what we could do to be better in game two. Off my initial reaction, the number one thing that we have to work on is stopping Trey Young from penetrating into the paint. Because if we look, Trey Young all night was taking it inside with either the floater or he was lobbing it up for Capella or any of these other big men in order to take a quick lob at the hoop. So I think that's going to be the number one thing the Knicks got to focus on in the next game is stopping Trey Young's dribble penetration. But what are your thoughts? And we'll start first with our boy here, Hammer, repping Hammer's house. So what up, Hammer? And what do you got for us here on your thoughts on this game?
Was good, was good, was good. Finally back with TBS.
Eh,
Yo, homeboy Trey Young was not really missing much, especially inside the paint. And like you said, that is going to be job number one going into game two. Got to contain him inside the paint. If you have to double up, double up. But man, they talked about it during the halftime show. That was the one thing that they were seeing that the guys were seeing that he was constantly effective with. Even if he wasn't putting up a shot, he was dishing the ball left and right and making things happen for other guys. You have to stop Trey Young immediately. That dude was a problem.
If I can't say though, we were lucky that Atlanta didn't make that many shots because they're usually really good from three, right? So we're lucky they didn't make that many shots, but defense is key. And if Knicks keep up the defense and make the stops, like you said, double up on Trey, make the stops, and keep the defense alive.
And I think that one of the things that if you notice you watching the game, there was a lot of opportunity where you had RJ Barrett open in the corner for that three, and he was missing that. So those are shots that normally RJ Barrett throughout the season in that corner area has been hitting. So I don't expect them to have the same kind of situation where you're going to see RJ Barrett and Randall actually shoot so bad from the field. So there is some room for improvement that we're going to have from that standpoint. I think the biggest thing, though, that we really need to figure out is what are we going to do with starting point guard, because I don't think we can keep Alfred Payton going out there for 4 minutes, subbing him out and doing something like that, because he's putting us in a little bit of a deficit. And as we saw here, we only lost by 2 points.
What I noticed is that Trey was able to get to the paint and not be defended. And I just don't understand that because we're number one in defense, right? Yeah. Why is this man not being covered going all the way to the paint? I just don't understand. It really gets me upset because Knicks are my team, and it's just really it gets me upset. And to lose by 2 points is just that even it just hurts. It hurts even more, bro. But you know what I'm saying? Knicks in 5, to be honest.
I mean, I think it's probably going to go a little bit longer. I think it does go longer than 5. I think we're probably going to look at it at a 7-game series where it's going to go the distance.
But I was not going to answer because
if we look at this, though, the biggest thing here is that Alfred Payton, he was only a -2, but it felt like he was starting to push. He only played 8 minutes in this game. He was 0 for 3 from the field. He had, no turnovers, but he didn't really do anything that wowed you in his time on the court. As we saw Frank Ntilikina, he made a quick little play on Trey Young and really couldn't handle it. So the question is, what do you see the Knicks doing in the point guard going forward? And, first, I guess I'll start with Scotty, then we'll come to you, Hammer.
Yeah, my bad, bro.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's switch it up. We'll go to Hammer first and then come back to Scotty, baby.
They're more or less running right now point guard by committee. They need somebody that they believe is going to be a better matchup against Trey Young. And I get that. It was something that I heard being talked about throughout the week on ESPN radio. They were talking about Payton. They were talking about Rose, but they didn't want to see Rose initially be the starter and get all these minutes and everything.
Oh, he did. He was carrying us. Like he was in there. He was able, and he was pushing it and had the extra gear to take it to the rack.
Right. And that's the thing. His experience under Thibs' defense is the leg up with majority of these guys that the Knicks currently have on their roster. At the same time, Julius Randle, can't force things up. You got to be patient. Let the game come to you right now. I know you're. I feel like maybe this is his first playoff experience. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it is.
But you got to take your time and let the game come to you. Don't force up stupid shots, man, because that's another thing that absolutely killed the Knicks tonight.
Mm-hmm. I think they took some threes when they shouldn't took some threes and secured the save too. But like I said, man, if you're the number one in defense, just stick with what you got. And I just think they forgot about that, especially with the Atlanta Hawks, man. Like, all you got to do, you guys are so big. Like, you have Bogdanovich, he's a problem. You have Luke Williams, he's the major problem. Why? Because he can dish it in from 2. He can dish it in from 3. And he has experience in the playoffs. He has experience, years. But everyone else, Trae Young, first playoff experience. Yeah, Knicks, first playoff in 8 years. But the way that they're playing, I really think that they could be in the finals, man. I really do. That's not even talking from a fan. Just the way that they're playing, the way they can stop the defense. They really stepped up today.
I'll be honest. My biggest issue with that, and I'm a huge Knicks fan as well, but I just don't think that offensively we have enough weapons to consistently be able to create shots that are good enough for us to score at a high enough efficiency for us to win. Because if you look at it,
you don't think Alec Burks is a weapon? You don't think Alec Burks is a weapon?
Alec Burks needs to be starting. Alec Burks needs to be starting.
Say that again.
Alec Burks needs to be starting. You need to have Rose come off the bench and have Quickly also come off the bench. You need to move. You need to move. You need to maybe take a little bit of minutes off of Reggie Bullock's plate because he didn't shoot that great, but I do expect him to play better. I think when we saw that stretch from Obi, he was doing kind of good. And maybe we need to figure out if we can roll Obi out there. Maybe even run a lineup with Randall, Obi, and Noel or Gibson. Another thing that hurt us is we didn't have Gibson, Noel really coming through the end because he was kind of banged up. So, that does hurt us a little bit on that final play because he is someone at the rim who, when Trae goes up for that floater, is normally there to help contest as well.
And we talked about this before, Taco. Gibson is their lead center right now. He's such a bully in the center position. He's such a bully, and I love this guy in the center. They should have put him in way more, and Obi Toppin should not be posting up on the 3. He's good in the paint. Don't post up in the 3. You should dish it out to number 9, dish it out to number 4. If they're in the 3, dish it out to them or about Alec Burks. And I just seen them open so much, and I was just screaming at the TV. I'm like, yo, these guys are open. But you know what?
And see, look at this, though, from the starters. You're looking at 2 for 6 from Randall, 0 for 5 from Bullock, 1 for 6 for RJ Barrett. So when you say, how can the Knicks improve on this game and actually beat the Hawks, that's going to be one big way that they can. Now, Hammer, I know that you thought that this was one of the best games that you've seen so far of the playoffs. And I was just thinking from your perspective of the fan. What was the most exciting part of this game to you?
The fact that there was a home game in the Garden, bro.
Yeah.
Just hearing the fan, bro. I said it in the group chat. This brought back so many memories of a little kid watching those Knicks of old in the 90s, watching Knicks games religiously with my dad, playoff time.
Yep.
Spike Lee on courtside. Just hearing the intensity of the fans, finally us having home court advantage at the mecca of basketball. I wish I was there, man. They blew the roof off the Garden tonight, bro.
Facts, bro. Facts. It was magical. I had some highlights here, but Twitter keeps moving on. So
here's the one thing. That their defense did well to start, anyways. The first half, the Hawks are known for being on the line quite often. They only had 1 free throw attempt in the first half.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden it went to shit in the second half.
That's what I'm saying. What did you change?
See, I the biggest reason why is because the Knicks were playing defense without fouling, and because if you look at this play, right? Let me take this one thing off just so we can see this brilliance here. If you look at the play, right, Trae Young is coming up. He has one-on-one with Frenchie. He goes right past him, and then somebody lost his shoe, and then Gibson is trailing behind. That's where having a guy like Noel really would have made a difference. And it's just really crazy to me how close up Gibson was playing at that point in time. Like force Trey to take a long three. Don't like come up so much when you have Frenchie that's coming up on him already, because they're gonna blow past. He's gonna blow past everyone, and that's exactly what he did.
I got
Gibson was behind
Frenchie.
Frenchie.
I got something to say about that. And tell me if I'm wrong. I need to know if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah.
In all the Atlanta games that you see Trae Young prospering and doing those great shots in the paint, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't able to do that many against the Knicks tonight. How many times did you really see him make those shots tonight? I don't think as many as you usually see him do it. And once again, I'm not really talking about a Knicks perspective, like a Knicks fan perspective, but he really wasn't able to do those easy paint shots. And none of the Atlanta Hawks really were on their, not that they weren't on their A game on shooting, but they just weren't able to make the shots that they usually make. So I think that we were supposed to capitalize on that, and we just really didn't.
No,
I think that they really did make it easy for them to win, and we just fumbled the bag. We fumbled the bag.
Mm-hmm. This should have been our game. This was the game that we had to win, in my opinion, because when you think about all the crowd and the intensity that we had going for us, this was the game. But I also think that this crowd and this intensity, it scared some of our boys. Our boys was getting a little intimidated. They're like, yo, what the hell? Like, this is insane. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it worked for us and against us in certain aspects tonight. But the crowd was there, man. They were loving it. They were, performing to their level. And all I gotta say is this moment right here from your boy RJ Barrett probably was, for the Knicks fans' perspective at least, the moment of the game. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, we're gonna get it going for you right here. Like, that was just a slam, bro. Like that was fuego. Like
filthy. I really believe the Knicks did feed off of them. The Knicks definitely fed off the fans. You could see a lot of the guys, a lot of their intensity was there because of the fans, man. And like I said, it was great to watch. I think it would have been 1,000 times better to be there in person and experience that. Like, I think they said there were 15,000 fans in there. That's the most we've had in an arena, in a stadium in New York since they started lifting things. It was an amazing thing to see.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And we deserved that shit. My boy was at the game. I was FaceTiming him, bro. It was crazy, bro. And you see what I'm rocking is that Barrett jersey. He's shown so much growth since the first rookie season. Like, yo, everyone, thought highly of him, and he is that player that we think he is. But he just had to adjust and look at the growth that he did from last year to this year. Now we can rely on him to make shots. We can rely on him to make assists. But we just got to keep passing the ball. I saw him open so many times tonight, and I was really just hoping that they showed him more love with the ball, because I really think that they should trust him more from the three.
That's the one thing. I do agree with you that they need to trust him more, but also at the same point in time, when we look at what he did today, he was 1 of 6 from 3. He was 6 of 15 from the floor. He didn't turn the ball over, but he didn't shoot the ball well. And I think that's going to be the biggest difference maker in this series is, can RJ Barrett shoot the ball efficiently? Because
same with Julius Randle. Look, 6 for 23, 2 for 6 from 3-point land.
Reggie Bullock was 0 for 5 as well. So
and Reggie Bullock is a shooter.
Yeah, he's been shooting way better than that. Yeah,
gotta be patient.
And if you look at what's going on for the Hawks, I mean, yeah, Danilo Gallinari went 1 for 7. Huter was 1 for 4. But other than that, 4 for 9 from Bogdanovich. Trey really didn't go crazy from 3. He went 1 for 3. Josh Allen went 2 for 4.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Knicks fumbled the bag tonight.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? I don't really see how the Hawks can play so much better than they did tonight. Like, this was the Hawks' best shot. Yeah, we took their best shot, and we had our guys struggling, and we still had a chance to come back and win. So I think this gives us hope going forward. I think this puts us in a situation where don't fear the reaper. If it's gonna come, it's gonna come. But play your game and play your hardest and just let the chips fall where they may. Don't try too hard to be like we're gonna go like. That's how I feel like Randall was. Randall wanted to back up all his talk, and it just led to him having a bad night. 6 of 23, and look at it. He was 6 of 23, but he's still only a -5 in the plus minus. So,
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you think we need in the next game for us to not let that happen again? Because I don't think the margin should be by 2. I think we really should have beat them by way more than 2.
Offense needs to step up.
I feel like their defense is
needs to be contained a lot more. But here's the thing, and they were talking about it during halftime. Trae Young hasn't been in the league very long, but he has also changed the way he plays. He came into the league and everybody was like, "Oh, he's the next Steph Curry." Da 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 da. Bro, he's not the next Steph Curry. He forces up those half-court shots, and he ain't always hitting them like Curry does. But at the same time, he's changed his game a lot more. Where he is driving, where he is going into the paint, whether he's throwing up a floater or facilitating one way or another, he's changed his game drastically, and that's one thing that the Knicks have to realize and try to contain him as much as possible. That is the number one priority, and these guys that just couldn't get hot tonight, take your time and let the game come to you in game 2. Things will work out.
And I think the biggest thing is now that we got a chance to see Trae again, and as we saw here, he scored 32 points. He went 9 of 9 from the free throw line, so he did get a good portion of his points from the free throw line, but only had 1 3-pointer, and he shot. He only attempted 3 3-pointers out of his 23 shots. I mean, he took 20 shots inside the arc. So if we look at the way he's playing, he's good. He's getting in front of the guy and he's doing a floater. So I think that what we need to do is we need to put a guy like Burks at the starting point guard because he's a little bit bigger. He has a little bit more size. We're gonna make him shoot over him. We're gonna press up on him, and we're gonna have someone rotating underneath. And if we have to make the second rotation onto their big, because we'll probably have either Gibson or Noel come to rotate and stop Trae at a certain point, and then you have the other guys rotate over and make him make the pass, make him make everyone else beat you. Because I mean, tonight he was the one that was doing everything.
Yep,
bro, put the goggles on Gibson. When he plays with the goggles, he's unstoppable. Goggle Gibson, that's my boy.
Another one.
Mitchell Robinson is my dude.
Man, we're missing
Gibson
him
at
this
center,
year.
He's so New York. He's a bully. He gets it, and he does the job. Okay, you guys seen Trae Young in many games. Trae Young is able to shoot from 3, get in the paint, but he wasn't able to do that this game. So, like you said, focus on Trae Young. Double team him, and then I think that we can have a clear shot. But I did just weren't. I feel like they were so New York. They weren't just weren't worried about it. But you know what? You gotta worry about Trae Young, especially in his first playoff. I'm gonna give him that.
Facts.
Not being biased. It's like Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler in the playoffs, he's a different beast, but the same animal. Trae Young, he's being the same beast, but a different animal. It's his first playoff. He's gonna play hungry. Don't put him off to the side, and that's coming from a Knicks fan. So we down 1. I'm sweating.
I'll put it like this, and we'll frame it on this one. The Knicks may have lost the first game, but the series has just begun. We're gonna make adjustments. We took one of their best shots right now, and we're gonna deliver our own shot. The fans are gonna come and juice for the next game. We're gonna hopefully pull that one out. Then it's 1-1, and then we got to take one in Atlanta. Period. Point blank. Amen. And you know what? We're gonna have fans that are gonna travel down there, and they're gonna get loud for us. And we got to show up and show out. And I think at the end of the day, right now, it's gonna come down to us playing efficient basketball and getting back to our roots of being defensive and keeping the guys in front of us and not letting them penetrate. And once we stop that, I think we can definitely, go good forward. All right, guys. But I think this was a great little recap that we had here for the Knicks game. There's a ton of other games that we're going to be going over during the week. There's a bunch of different series that we have going on. The Lakers and Suns was crazy, but again, I did call that Suns victory, if you saw
you
last
called a
week's
lot of great
episode.
picks this week, I must say.
I had the Memphis over it, and this game right here is definitely something that I want to go watch as well because it's Memphis versus Utah. Utah doesn't have Donovan Mitchell. Memphis, I think, is an interesting upstart team when you have guys like John Morant, you have Jackson, you have Brooks. Brooks is nasty, like he's a little pesky defender, so I want to peep that out. But during this week, we're gonna all be going. I'm gonna be going live all week. I'm gonna have some of these guys back on. We're gonna have more discussions here for the basketball playoffs, and we're gonna get everything going. So, this is the Daily Sporting. We appreciate your time. We are
just
out.
want to say one thing, brother.
Yeah.
Put the goggles on Gibson.
We're gonna put the goggles on Gibson, baby. We're coming back game 2. Go New York, go New York, go. We out. Peace.
Hey, David and Taco, they bring the heat. All about UFC, way more than a fantasy. Let's see who going toe to toe. Throw down on the mat, check the replay, run it back. We gotta check the stats. Hey, do this every day. We ain't come to play. This is sports talk, and we love talking MMA. Everything fantasy sports. Dopest show that I know. With Electric Dave and talented Mr. Taco. Let's go. Hey, yeah.